What have I got in my pocket? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Guys, our nerfs are in. We finally got our update, and Arnold isn't happy. You guys can see his channel where he did his attacks, and the nerfs had already struck his opponent. Did not have the nerfs when he attacked, so it's kind of unfair in a way, but also in fairness, our Arnold did wait until the last minute to attack. So that being said, no shade today, guys. Not at Arnold, not even at CG, who nerfed our stuff. I do believe they are genuinely trying to make the game better and more balanced. We will see if that ends up being what happens, but we gotta test and see what happens, right? I'm not gonna quit. I'm not just gonna roll over and decide to whine about it. Let's just see how it goes. So I didn't test anything today personally. I couldn't. I was working late, and my buddy Solo did test quite a bit, and so did our friend Fatal from the playbook. So I'm gonna link a couple things in the video description for you guys if you would like to. I'll link to Fatal's stream. He did like a 3.5 hour testing stream. Crazy stuff. And first we'll talk about Solo's footage, and I'll link his channel and everything. So yeah, it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. We're just gonna take a look at how bad these characters are. Specifically, we're gonna look at Vader and General Skywalker. Actually, I don't know if we have any footage on Skywalker. I think I initially started with some and I took it out, but I don't know, he's pretty similar. We can find something by Fatal, I'm sure. But then Jedi Luke also specifically. A lot of 3v3 footage as well. Good testing for that for the upcoming matches. So let's move over there, folks, and let's get our test on. Well, you guys aren't testing. I'm not even testing. We're just gonna watch Solo test. So sounds good? Let's do it, guys. Hold on a second, though. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Alright, folks, so this is the first one is something that is actually very interesting to me. Let's pause it for 1 second. Now, remember, this is Solo's footage, so it's not me playing. He does very similar things to what I would do. He does target some different guys with it, which is totally fine, but so the nerf right now is Jedi Luke. He does not do, he does true damage against tanks, which is cool. So there's First Order Stormtrooper here, which does extra damage to him on Luke's basic, but otherwise everything's pretty much the same, except Luke is just not doing as much damage to Kylo. So let's just see, how this goes. This is one of those counters that I actually really hoped wouldn't get nerfed, and it's not reliant on Thrawn. Thrawn is obviously just not nearly as good, but here we go. So he already hit Revan and triggered Savior. Revan sends the AoE sends the turn to Luke, who stuns everyone, and I'm not sure how fast this Supreme Leader Kylo is. Seems like he might be on the slow side. Not really sure. And once again, this is just initial footage. We can't draw any huge conclusions from it, right? We need to figure out what we're gonna do, though. So you can see the Solo. He actually just used the middle ability with Luke, so he wasn't even doing the basic to kill Stormtrooper. Not really sure what's optimized or what. All I know is that this whole team is actually dead pretty quick. This is reliant, of course, on Supreme Leader Kylo actually being debuffed by that AoE from Old Ben. So as long as you get that to happen, I guess it doesn't really matter otherwise. So I think that would have just been a huge win, honestly, for Solo. So of course he's testing in arena. He doesn't want to actually win because it displaces him. Now we're gonna cut to 3v3 footage a little bit here, and this is actually out of order. This is the second attempt that Solo did. This is with Vader lead against a really fast Shaak T. This is a 359 Shaak T. So he's got a faster Gideon. Gideon reduces the turn meter. And then you can see that Vader does an ability block on... Okay, so this is important, guys. Vader does an ability block on GK so that there's no crit. And then Gideon goes in and does an armor shred, which seems a little dicey to me. Why don't we let's just rewind for just a second, see, is this only like true damage? So we're trying to make it so that we can fracture Luke right away. So he hits, and he just doesn't crit. It could have crit, though, so seems a little dicey, but he did get the fracture here. But here's the thing, guys. He needed that armor shred on Luke to be able to use that saber toss and kill him. So, yeah, okay, this is the first attempt here, and this is a little bit more drawn out. He did get the saber toss and kill Luke right away. I don't know if that's going to work against higher protection Lukes or whatever. This is only Relic 7 Luke as well, you can see. And once again, as I'm going to just keep saying, this is all early footage. It's good to get kind of a sense of what's going to work. I mean, Vader got his culling blade chopped down. His culling blade got culled by quite a bit. So, you know, it's been a little bit sad. Now, this fight actually turns into a pretty drawn out affair, as you'll see. So, I would say that Solo makes good use of the Thrawn half-step abilities. He misses a couple things here and there, and that's not shade either. That's just, I think that, I don't know, this is a new counter, and he's trying to get in as many reps as possible, so he's just trying to go kind of quickly. Plus, Solo actually is just kind of a compulsive player. He just plays quickly, and it's almost always the right choice anyway. So you can see I think that the thing that I would point out, and this, man, I gotta keep saying no shade, but the thing that I want to point out is that Solo a lot of times does not wait to take out, like when he does the saber toss, sometimes he doesn't wait until there's full buffs on the character first. So just something to keep in mind, folks, that like right now Jedi Luke has 0 buffs on him, or Jedi Luke has 0 debuffs on him, and so no debuffs. He still does the saber toss, and Luke just hits him back, which, I mean, that's the thing. If you're used to having Vader lead, then you don't have to worry about it. It's like, oh yeah, there's already a ton of debuffs. And so, I mean, fair play on this channel, guys. If we have footage here, I'm not going to just say it's just the most amazing gameplay ever if there are mistakes. Huge thanks to Solo for testing this, and he is a great player. We all make mistakes, so I'm just babbling about that for a little bit longer than maybe it's necessary, but it is actually pretty relevant here, because I want to point out mistakes while still remaining grateful. I mean, if he did the same to me, or if the roles were reversed, I'd want him to point it out in a respectful way as well. So keep in mind, guys, Shaak T keeps debuffing, as in cleansing Luke here, and I don't know, with Thrawn lead, it makes him way more versatile, and you can see you're just kind of chipping away at him. You have 3 guys who are Empire, so you can keep that fracture for a long time. He eventually wrestles him down. He did need a fast Gideon to make that work. So, looks like that counter still kind of works. Obviously, Watt isn't a part of it, unfortunately, even after I had that pretty cool breakthrough in one of my last matches. But, you know, it is what it is. Now we're going to switch to, this is Rey versus Sith Eternal versus High Offense Rey. So, want to test that. I think this is an 11,000 offense Rey, so not the highest. And this isn't with Cat. I think that Rey with Cat here gets a little too dicey for just Sith Eternal and Watt. You need to do something else, and I've made videos about that previously. But what we're testing right now is it was an indirect nerf to Sith Eternal, because when here, let me just stop this for a sec. So Solo likes to keep his all of the debuffs and buffs all minimized, and that's fine. He can do what he wants, but what it loses is you can't see that Lifeblood is on all three of these characters. Well, I guess it's just the protection from Lifeblood that's there. But remember, so when Rey gives Lifeblood out, that gives Sith Eternal turn meter, and when he gets turn meter, then she gains in mastery every time he gains turn meter. And so he's as he's going faster, she's getting stronger, and the question is, does that escalate too quickly? And if you take this, if you scale this up to 5v5, which we're gonna have to test that, it's going to give all the Sith that are accompanying Sith Eternal turn meter, in which case it's going to also buff Rey, in which case it's going to also result in potentially just getting destroyed in the ultimate. So anyways, we're just chilling here. Poor old Watt is dead. DED dead. And you guys can watch it. You guys have seen this all before. So very interesting. He gets his ult basically at the same time as Rey does. I mean, he can pop his ult a little bit before. So keep in mind, he did, and this is smart. This is just basic tactics. It's not really informed by the new way of playing, but by all the new stats and all the new stuff. He is actually, he links one character plus Rey, kills that one character, and then relinks, because then he's able to keep those crits from happening from Rey and Poe, and he's also able to, was able to keep them linked, and he's able to just heal himself because he's got that Watt buff. So he does the link, and it heals him twice, so he gets the protection back. And he's also able to take all that protection from Poe, etc. So I think this is the final fight, guys. This is against a high health Rey, again in 3v3. After this, we're going to look at Vader in 5v5 versus Darth Revan, which is pretty exciting. Even though it's not Solo doing it. I know some of you guys are Solo purists, which disgusts me, but so here's an important thing, guys. If you use armor is better as an accompaniment to Sith Eternal, because, real quick, have you ever wanted to see a slow motion, a 1x speed Sith Eternal do his ultimate? That now you have. It takes like 15 seconds. It's ridiculous. But what he's doing here, note that so armor really likes to be with Sith Eternal better than if you had Watt. Watt isn't as good because armor gives plus 15% health to Sith Eternal. Now keep in mind, Solo Sith Eternal is at 169k health, something like that, really high health, and so specifically modded for that. And so armor giving plus 15% is going to be a huge boost. And but the thing is, if it's Rey with the bros, they can stun armor and make it so that armor can never actually apply that unless the bros are criminally slow. But they're getting plus 30 speed from Rey. Finn is almost always going to be faster than even a very fast armorer. And so the only real way around this potentially screwing mechanic is if Gideon is in there and reduces everyone's turn meter so that armor can go first. That's the only way that this can possibly work. So that's why he's taking Gideon. It's not for the damage reduction. It's to keep armor unstunned long enough to just give the Beskar ingots to Sith Eternal. You don't need to give the third stack to Sith Eternal. You just need to give one stack. That's it. That's all you need. I mean, 2 stacks, I guess, but yeah, Gideon is going to die. So is the armorer. That's just how it works, unfortunately. But now we have the 2 stacks on Sith Eternal, and this is the high health Rey, remember, so she's not going to be doing having a ton of offense, but Sith Eternal's also gaining So if there's damage immunity, there's extra turn meter from that. It's all locked buffs that are being applied. So Rey has the locked buffs. The lifeblood that she applies is another locked buff, and so he's gaining turn meter, but she's also getting stronger and more mastery. It's just a race. Once again, it's a race, and this one has a lot more health, and so all that bonus protection that she got from lifeblood is just making it really hard for him to chew through. But she also doesn't have much offense, so you do have that. There's all kinds of fun interactions here, folks. But the question is, can he kill her? Once again, the second video in a row, Solo fails to kill Rey in that before that second one. So, anyways, let's move to the match with Fatal. I'm gonna leave the volume off of his, and I'll just provide the commentary here. So, once again, we're not using Watt. Watt wasn't necessary before. You need a double tank, or even a triple tank. You can see it's triple pre-taunt. It's crazy, and it's Thrawn lead, because what happens is Darth Revan, theoretically at least, goes and fears the one pre-taunt, whichever one he chooses, and then it fears Thrawn and that pre-taunt. And so this Darth Revan team is a little bit crazy. I mean, I think this one is a slow Darth Revan, but okay. So you can see, guys. Let me just pause it real quick. Oh yeah, we gotta pause it here. So what's happening here is you have to wait until Darth Revan. You need him to have that frenzy on him, because it reduces his defense, and it's 5 debuffs that Culling Blade can dispel for extra damage. And then Vader also was able to get a few dots off and a speed down. So this is like the ideal start. I think that he was able to get a couple other times when he did get like up to 10 stacks, but it's kind of weird and it's bizarre. He ran this quite a bit. You guys can watch all of his testing footage on Twitch if you like. So you can see 182k, and this is a high offense Vader, of course. The thing that I think that I took most away from his match was his basic was doing almost as much as his Culling Blade. You can see it did like 128k to that Malak just now, which is nuts. It's just completely insane. And I don't know, with these triple tanks, like, this is pretty expensive. It's you know, you're using your Geonosians and L3 and Shore Trooper, but I don't know. I think what he ended up doing was he used Finn instead of the Brood Alpha, and it was working. Now the problem, of course, too, is this isn't going to be great banners. I think you're going to be able to get okay banners, but you just got to be careful. I mean, Vader, it almost just took it, and this is Relic 8 Vader with a ton of offense, really well modded by Fatal. So yeah, it's a, you know, and he's just testing things too. I'm sure that not everything he's doing is fully optimized, but once again, I mean, Thrawn lead, guys. I've always liked that ability to do the half step for leadership. It doesn't work with Vader, of course, because Malak's there. He can't gain bonus turn meter, so it's not a half step, it's just a full step. Sometimes you want to do it just so that you don't have to hit Malak and crit him, so that you don't get feared. But yeah, now he's just trying to figure out what should he do. Like, I believe that his conundrum was, like, should he just try a Culling Blade before he went into Merciless, just to test what kind of damage it did. He thought he could kill Marauder. It obviously didn't quite work out, but I don't know. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Don't want to kill Marauder, so you get an extra turn to hang out and do stuff. Do another Saber Toss. Literally the basics are doing more damage to Malak than the Saber Toss. So, I mean, you fail. Excuse me, fail on one thing and you gain in others, I guess. I don't know. This looks like a viable option, guys. It wouldn't even be terrible banners because that brute doesn't actually matter for banners. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, he gets out of there, and yeah, he tests for a while. So I'll link that in the video description as well. But, anyways, guys, let's just turn this on in the background, shall we? It's more fun. More fun, I think. So, anyways, folks, this is about it. I think that there is a lot of room for this to still work. I don't know. General Skywalker will be an interesting one to see footage of. I think that the thing that Fatal eventually did was he fought against CLS with his General Skywalker team. CLS actually beat General Skywalker, the full 501st, as well. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it looks like a lot of the counters aren't actually dead. I'm going to be working on a video in the background. There's still a few off-meta teams that still work really well, like Bando with Han and Chewie. Take out Jedi Master Luke just fine. And, you know, another topic of discussion would be why is Jedi Master Luke just being shoved to the side? It seems like he is less and less important lately, but that's a topic for another discussion. Let's call it good here, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth and Solo and Fatal prevail. Especially Zareth. See ya.